Alright, here we go. Headed back over to Heide's Tower of Flame to continue the party. Pulling this down, if you could see that area off where it's now misting, there's 3 levers total. Pulling all 3 of these will make that wall go fully up. It's actually an area where we're going to fight a boss. Having that wall fully up and closed will make it a lot easier. Without it having being up, there's very good possibility you will either get knocked off or walk off during the boss fight. I hate fighting those 2 guys at the same time. Obvious reasons. This guy's actually very, very simple, very limited attacks. Try to just always stay behind him. Again, if you're new to the series, you probably saw there were a couple signs outside the window, or outside the doorway. I would definitely recommend picking, anytime you're in human form, you're going to a boss fight, you haven't done it before. No shame in summoning people, like I said, before. It actually gives the boss more HP, it makes them hit harder. So it's not really like you're taking the easy way out, so to speak. The game does compensate for the fact that you are going with other people. Now this NPC here, you definitely want to deplete all of her text. She sells miracles and chimes, as well as a faith-increased ring. You don't, if you're not going faith, you obviously don't need her for that stuff. However, depleting her text is going to send her back to Majula, which she is very much needed to progress in the game. So definitely make sure that you deplete it all.
Sorry. No need for miracles.
Just gonna head back to level up, and then we're coming right back to here for the second boss, which if you played the first Dark Souls, and this is, again, your first playthrough of this game, it's going to be a very familiar boss.
Bearer of the curse. Seek lest.
I'll be around if you make it back.
Bearer of the...
So it's always best to go back to the first bonfire if you did what I did, where you're gonna leave and come back. That second bonfire, it's a much further run, more guys to fight to get to the second boss. You can actually run right past that guy. He actually won't follow and engage. Just kind of stands there. You only need to kill him the first time to raise the lever for the Dragonrider boss. you have a tendency to die a lot, that Ring of Binding that I just picked up is actually quite nice. It reduces the amount of HP you lose when you're in hollow form. So like I said, very familiar looking boss. It's basically Ornstein from Dark Souls 1. If anything, it appears that he's been, well, we don't know how far into the future this game is from the first game. But looks like Manus has something to do with the fact that he's dark now instead of using Faith and Lightning like he did in the first. So probably Abyss tainted. Or it just could not be Ornstein at all, and it's just the developer's nice little throw-in. But at least you don't have to fight him and a version of Smo. Smow, however you want to pronounce his name. But unlike the first game, he's much, much simpler. Movements are very predictable. Doesn't hit nearly as hard. Obviously, he doesn't have a partner with him either, but very easy boss fight, once again. Now, if you haven't been playing the game and you didn't fight this boss, as he's optional, there's no story or area progression at all related to that boss. You've probably seen people running around with that helm.
Transi, be gone.
Now, this guy here is the head of the Blue Sentinels, which I had talked about in the first film, the first movie. He cannot be fully engaged in conversation until you've had one successful co-op match. When you do a co-op match, you get a token of fidelity, which shows that you helped another player. So, once you have one of those in your inventory, you can come back and talk to this guy and you can join the Blue Sentinels. And the Blue Sentinels, like I mentioned, will assist players that have been invaded. But it will only work if you're in human form. If you're hollowed, you will not be summoned. Now, you can be summoned from anywhere you are in your game. If someone with the same soul memory has been invaded, you could be potentially summoned to their world to assist. You'll, of course, go right back to where you were. But just bear that in mind if you join the Covenant and you put the ring on, that no matter what you're doing, you can and will be summoned to assist. Also, you can duel. These three statues here, when you have the ring on, you can talk to them and go into a duel against another Blue Sentinel. Now, these are not fights to the death like the Brotherhood of Blood. They will stop before you die. The victor, of course, wins, and then you go back to here. Alright, so in the next video that I'm going to put up, we'll be going to another optional area, but it has a few items that I think make it worthwhile going, and that's going to be No Man's Wharf. Which in the next video I'll show you how to get there and tackle that boss. Actually gives you a third way to get into the Lost Bastille also, which enables you to get all three of the bonfires throughout that area. So, thanks again for watching, and tune in soon for the next one.